I want to just pass the 100K mark, because I think when you pass 100K in trading profits, I think that's when you can really take it seriously.
I agree. Yeah.
I think when you've made 100 grand, you're like, look, you can call yourself a trader. I'd say I'm still a trader in the making, trader in build.
Especially
you know
if,
what I mean?
and here I'm interrupting, especially if you do that over a year. See, because to me, that's showing that you can do it. You know, it's, hey, you and I know guys that made 100 grand in a month, and all of a sudden, poof. Okay.
Yeah.
If you can do what you did this year, 660, then next year, you know, whatever that number, maybe, I mean, I'm guessing you're probably going to do 25, 30 to be over the PDT. But if you can then do that to 100 over a year, in my opinion, I totally agree. It proves now you've shown I can do this. It's I didn't just get lucky, you know. Welcome back to the Steady Trade podcast, everyone. I am Tim Bohen here with Kim Ann Curtin and Steven Johnson. Today we're kind of recapping the year, as well as going to talk about some predictions for the coming year.
What's up? Steven Johnson reporting a near 10,000% return on investment from a small account using pretty much one pattern within the year. I've named this Steven's payday pattern because I've generated a lot of paydays from this pattern, and the question is, will this work for you? Well, all I know is it worked for me, and what I can do is give you a 5+ hour guide with the frameworks, the tools, and the data to prepare you to see if you can replicate that success. Trading is difficult. I've spent hours upon hours upon hours. There's tons of hard work, tons of study, tons of focus. But I've made it work for me, and I want to give you the tools, the pattern, the data to see if it can make it work for you. So click the link for the payday pattern.
Still kind of think back, and Steven will, I'm sure, remember it. I think he got Elon Musk's face tattooed on his back after my call of that on Tesla on this episode last year. Hope you bought some Tesla as it ran up to, you know, whatever it is. What is it at? About 4,000 before the split. And I said it would go to 1,000 back in January. But that being said, just going to kind of review the year. You know, Steven kind of thought of this topic kind of like, maybe what we did right, what we did wrong, what our predictions are for the future. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about the rowing competition that Steven will lose miserably. Probably, I mean, it'll be so bad. If you're at the conference, please bring a body bag if you've got one, because we may need it to ship Steven back across the ocean. It would come in handy. Customs gets a little sketchy about, you know, dead bodies. We could slip them in there, seal it up airtight, ship them back across the pond, you know. So anyway, welcome, Kim. Welcome, Steven. How was your 2020?
It was a rough year. I just don't know anybody who's not happy to see it go.
Now, why do you say that? Elaborate.
You know,
because here's where I'm gonna go is, listen, I know global pandemic, very scary times and stuff like that, but for you, wasn't it a pretty good year?
I've had one of the best years of my business, and I think because of the pandemic, people have said to themselves, I need to get some support for myself, my team, my company. So yes, for business, it's been incredible, and I'm grateful and so fortunate. And I also feel like a lot of empathy for those businesses that have gone under, and for those businesses that, in spite of all their efforts and or even money from the government, it wasn't enough. So I just think, you know, and I'm very empathic, you know, I really feel other people's pain deeply. And so I think even in the midst of what my benefits have been, I can't help but feel for those who have not been able to navigate it well. And I think too, just I'm single, you know, I live on my own, but you know, my sister and a whole bunch of people that are having to educate their kids at home and balance a full-time job and navigate, you know, just the fear of the location they're in and the, you know, numbers going up, and like, are they going to get sick? Is they're going to get somebody else sick? you know, all of that has been, I think, stressful. And even though Hawaii has been, you know, probably much better than New York City for my, you know, where I live, it's still that sense of talking to friends and friends that are doctors. And, you know, it's just like, whew, I just hope that we're on the other side of it soon for everybody's sake.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I say that.
That's where I was heading is, you know, it's,
Yeah.
listen, I would never, as a former small businessman, well, I mean, I technically am still a small businessman.
Yeah.
I have a handful of rental properties, et cetera. But,
Yeah.
you know, I would never make light of it from that perspective. But what I was getting at is, you know, in the world of finance,
Yeah.
it's been a pretty wild year. I mean, when, you know, and we've talked about this on a million podcasts, whether that be commission-free trading last fall, whether that be stay-at-home orders, whether that be stimulus checks, whether that be no sports gambling, et cetera, or maybe all of those things. I mean, back to that, you know, like hobbies and stuff, you know, a lot of you know, I'm a weekend handyman. I love doing projects and stuff. I mean, this last 6-8 months, I have never gotten less done for myself in my entire life. It's just been so busy. And I thank all of you that listen to the podcast. And if you're a StocksToTrade customer, et cetera. But I mean, for me, whew, it's been a wild year in a good way. I mean, and again, I'm not like dancing on graves or anything. It's just, you know, if you're in the world of finance and the world of trading, it's been a wild year. I mean, Stephen, you had your best year, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's on a global context. It's been tough for everyone, but you can take it the cloud silver lining that by staying apart, we've come together, and you've saw the resilience of the human spirit.
Yep.
Well, there's been some protests here and there. We've ultimately all kept cool, kept calm, kept peaceful. It shows the strength of humankind, and I respect that, and I'm proud of it. On a personal level, I mean, look, last year I made like $1,000, if that, after my borrows. So I made nothing last year. Didn't lose. I had a break even
and
year
you're
last
saying,
year.
Remember, you're depending on when this airs, you're talking 2019.
Yeah. So like 2019, I made nothing, probably like next to nothing, negligible. And then obviously this year I started with a $600 account and ramped it up to 60K. It's now at like 59, something like that.
Congrats, Stephen.
So it's like,
and again, you know,
10,000%.
I just want to make that point is that is, and I know, like, depending on who you are, you're listening, you might be like 60K, but I'm telling you, 600 into 60K is
totally
so freaking outlier. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the world is ridden with bodies of people that started with $600 accounts. I mean, the market loves people with $600 accounts. I mean, it just churns them up, man, churns them up and spits them out. So, I mean, is 60,000, is he buying a Lamborghini? No, but 600 into 60,000 and doing it consistently with, he's focusing on one setups. I mean, that's extreme outlier shit right there. So
it's awesome. I hope you celebrate that, Stephen. What are you going to do to celebrate that? I can't help but ask.
Let's close the year first and log it in. But I'm scaling down. I've just withdrew again. So like I'm putting myself. The key is to put yourself near PDT, so you can't take a loss of more than 1,000 or so. Like, but no, I'm super proud because it's like. There's 11 months, so it's like nine green and 2 red, and the 2 red ones are $1,000 between them, like $1,000 each.
Beautiful.
And the 9 green are obviously like 10K, 15, 12, whatever. Some 8s, some 7s.
What do you attribute it to? You're coming into this year this way, going out of it this way.
It's just born of quite a few fortunate events. Things were clicking, and I'd learned everything from Tim and Pro and Sykes and the challenge. I knew what I was doing, but I just needed to like refine the one setup that I was doing. So I started data tracking a lot on one setup, and then tracking the patterns and categorizing the patterns, and stuff just started clicking, and it just started working. And it was also thanks to the pandemic. Thanks to the new money coming into the market, but also thanks to I had to work from home, which means I could put more time into trading. So I was working full time, but no one was over my shoulder.
Right.
Like the month that we got sent home was me record month.
Oh, really?
$10,000
I don't know
that month.
I don't know if I've ever heard
That's amazing.
that point. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So as soon as I could actually spend time and not be distracted, I went on to do well. So
Yeah. Yep.
so look, I'm happy about that. And it's like you say, it's not loads of money. It's like, but 60 grand at the end of the day. It's not loads of money, but it's lots of money in Newcastle.
I think it's loads of money. I think it's loads of money. I hope I never get so rich that I don't appreciate the value of $60,000.
And you did it, 10 months of that. You also had your job, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Most of it was working full time as well. So look, it's super cool. But I like the story about it more. I like I did it all on the internet and I did it all on YouTube. So I'm proud of that. But that's it really. I mean, look, once you get used to it, it's just about maintaining, trying not to lose it. And that brings you on to next year. It's just like, look, the market is dangerous as hell. Like, and the fact that everyone is just pushes, and I'm guilty of it too. Everyone is pushing the winning days. No one is pushing the losing days. Like, this is why I make a point when I have a bad day. Even if I feel sick, I'll put it on Instagram like 9 times out of 10. Even if I feel sick, because you've got to be honest.
Yes.
It's a terrible atmosphere and environment out there for new traders coming in. Because
it's gotten, like it's funny.
It's probably,
and you hear the rants and see my tweets. It's gotten exponentially worse. Okay.
Worse, yeah.
I go back. I still think, 2008, 2009, it was, FinTwit, as they say, was awesome. And I mean, I've been doing these webinars for, StocksTrade Pro for almost 5 years now. And I used to back in the beginning, like when I started with pros 2016, 2017, I'd be like, get on Twitter. And then like 2 years ago, I'm like, get off. It just got so bad. And it's just like, I mean, and I don't know what changed it. Again, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's like email got, I remember like this dates me. I remember being like in 1995, you'd get like one email and you'd be like, oh, I got an email.
Totally.
You're all excited,
When I first opened up my first email account, I sent an email with a friend who taught me how to set it up. And then I sat there and she's like, what are you waiting for? I was like, I'm waiting for the response. She goes, it's not going to come right away. I was like,
and then email just got ruined by spam. And now like, I don't know anyone that's like, I mean,
uses it anymore.
Yeah. Or if you do use it, you're like, oh shit, I gotta check my email.
Oh, no.
And I think Twitter was the same way. Yeah.
But now you have these groups, right? You have like Slack and Zoom and you have trusted contacts there.
That's the beauty.
It pops up on your phone and it's shorter as well. It's shorter again.
For sure. So what I'm hearing you say, Tim, at the start of this is, even though it has been hard in certain ways this past year, you're still noticing and paying attention to like kind of like the upward spiral. What is the silver lining? And that's it's a great way to look at things, because there's this guy, Ben Zander, who wrote The Art of Possibility, one of my all-time favorite books. He talks about you can have a conversation that is the downward spiral, or you can have a conversation that is the upward spiral. And that's
that's a lot of my philosophy. And listen, I've always kind of had this mindset going back to, I think I got it growing up on in a small Midwestern farm, kind of pull up by your bootstraps type thing, but it's now, I basically rip off the Dave Goggins and the Cam Hanes of the world and the Jocko Willings, but just so much of it is so much is on you. Now that can be depending on where you are in the world, depending on what tools you have, what you have access to, that can be a double-edged sword. But I mean, listen, Steven, $600 account into 60,000. Now he put years into that.
Yes.
But you could be that guy or that girl in a shitty position like Dave Goggins was, and open up a Robinhood account, and all of a sudden, and you got unlimited access to the internet. I mean, as long as you can afford your $40 a month internet bill.
That's right.
You can listen to the podcast. You can watch these videos. You can get all this information out there, and you can say, well, damn it, I'm going to get myself out of this and I'm going to learn this.
That's right. That's right.
And I just don't think, I mean, I think back to like when I got started, you know, there was so many more roadblocks. There's no way. I mean, and this is no affront to Steven or anybody, but if you were trying to turn 600 into 60,000 in 2007, 2008, 2009, 12, 13, 14, 15, oh, it was way harder. And it's not easy now. It's not easy now, but we get so many more. I mean, today there was like 6 or 7 low float stocks ripping. I mean, there's real stocks ripping. I mean, DoorDash doubled in a day. It IPO'd today. I mean, there's just so many options. I mean, options trading is exploding. There's so many guys crushing it in options. Crypto, you know, so you can sit there and be like, well, the world sucks, or you could figure out a way to scrape together $600, watch some YouTube videos, That's right. Put in the work.
That's right. That's right. Can I tell you guys a little story I learned from Ben Zander that I think you both will like? So two shoe salesmen go to Africa, and one salesman calls back the home office and he says, situation hopeless. They don't wear shoes. The second salesman calls back the home office and he says, glorious opportunity. They don't wear shoes yet.
Yep.
So it's just the mindset. Like, what's your mindset going to be?
Yeah, you need some sort of like mission statement or driving question. You need some higher purpose behind what you're doing. I mean, because you need a love of the game. Like, you need to love trading, and you need to have a mindset of love gambling to a degree, like probable gambling. But then you also need that why. Like, why are you doing it? Because do you want to prove something to yourself? Are you sick of letting yourself down? And you don't want to let yourself down. You don't want to go to bed thinking, I let myself down again tonight. You want to stop doing that. If there's a reason there, you think, I'm not going to bed unhappy with myself tonight or any other night.
What's your mission statement, Stephen?
Yeah.
My mission statement was initially, well, for me, it was always that I'd failed at, I was profitable playing poker, and I'd give it up because it got too hard. And I thought, I'll never give something up again because you only get one shot at life, and I'm never giving this up no matter what. And that was it.
How about you, Kim?
Oh, God, such a great question. I feel like I really want to have an answer. That's perfect. But I have to pull something right now out of thin air. I think my mission statement is to learn how to really be and to be a contribution. And my maybe asterisk on that is I want to see if this old dog can learn a new trick with trading. So I'm very excited about that, just because I know it's taking me into a completely different headspace than I've really spent most of my focus for the past, 20 years around personal development. So I'm kind of like, ooh, can this old dog learn a new trick? So
see, I was expecting the Conan the Barbarian mission statement out of you.
What fairy tale is that? Because I don't know it.
So the warlord asked Conan, what is great in life? Conan replied, to crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women.
Totally just Googled that. No way you know that off the top of your head.
And that's what you thought my mission statement would be?
Yes.
Just Google
Speaking of movie references, have you watched Conan the Barbarian, the original with Arnold?
I have not. I must admit.
What's yours, Tim? What was your driving question? And then we'll have to recap hot sectors. We'll have to recap the hot sectors of the year.
Mission statement.
I don't know if I have a mission statement per se, but I tell you, it's something, we joked about this last episode, Steven's like, how do you keep the high energy and stuff? And man, I tell you, I am, I'm 62 at this point.
I'm not.
63 next month, January 20th, 1974. Go to my OnlyFans or my Amazon guest list and send me something for my birthday. But that being said, OnlyFans.com/T-Bohen. Check it out.
$5.
Anyway, no, I tell you, just the mentorship program that I do, I tell you, I freaking love it. And again, it's been a wild year, but just to see so many people, like whether it be like XBIO, I mean, we talked about this trade, as that kind of like that dip and rip. And I mean, it's a small group. There's 100 people in there, and like 25 people or like, I saw it, I nailed it. You know, we saw, and it's just like, that's what keeps me fired up. I mean, 2 webinars a day, every single day, sometimes 3 or 4, and just helping people. I mean, what's your mission statement? I love helping people, and share my passion. You know, it's like that. The whole Steam Manifesto. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the whole Steam Manifesto, but there's a point in there that says, live your passion, share your passion, etc. And man, I love it. This is the most fulfilled I've been in my professional career, and it's a blast. So helping others learn my passion, I guess, would be my mission statement.
Can I just say,
with a subtitle of Conan's What is Best in Life. Yeah.
But like, let's be honest though, traders, like, they care about what you're giving them. Like, they're grateful because they're so desperate to change their lives. It's not like you work at Walmart and you're waiting for a thank you off your boss for putting the trolleys back in the thing. Like, you're doing something that people like. You'll get good feedback, Tim. I'm sure you'll get the pro guys being like, thanks for this and thanks for that, or you've changed my life in this.
But you do this too, Stephen. Like, you both constantly want to be a contribution. That's part of how you guys charmed me right from the get-go, because I was like, wow, these guys really give a damn about the people that listen to them and want to be a contribution to them. And it's I think so rare in this world, never mind in the trading world. So I think it just says so much about the both of you. Your hearts, you have really good hearts. And I'm sorry that your Conan quote doesn't fit your reality, Tim, but it doesn't.
Well, speaking of 2021, the rowing competition, I will destroy Stephen, my enemy, and I will hear the lamentations of his women. So, I mean, success.
Before we get on to 2021, can we just see if we can recap the hot sectors of 2020 in order? Kim will be able to jump in on some of these, I think.
Okay.
It'll be a 2-minute thing, but I think we might be able to do them backwards. I don't know if we can do them forward. Do you want to do them backwards or forwards?
Hey, your call, man. What do you want?
All right, let's go backwards. So, God, I can't even.
Everything.
Biotech's on now.
Whatever.
Biotech's running on now.
It's December. It's everything.
Nah, I think it's biotechs, and before biotechs, there was a brief stint of China. Before China, there was a heavy stint of EV, with Bitcoin mixed in the middle. Before EV and Bitcoin, what was before EV? Nothing. There must have been something.
Well, remember, so you go back to
the viruses. Okay, go your way. Go.
Let's go back to the first of the year. First of the year was just kind of low float mania. Low float mania came back. So it was like, we kind of, 2019, it was like, I mean, low float stocks have been hot forever, but it was but last fall, going back to fall 2019, things kind of got slow. I mean, August was dreadful. Wasn't a whole lot going on. And then you came back in the first of the year was low float mania, man. Anything low float was just rip.
Yeah, it's so true. I forgot.
Then we went into the virus stuff, particularly like the protection plays, like the AP. It was almost like Ebola 2.0 because people didn't know what we were going to do with the virus stuff. So it was the APTs, it was the lakes, etc. Then we went into the more pure play virus plays, whether that be, penny stock cures, or remedies or treatment devices, ventilators, etc. And then EV was sprinkled in there. You're right. But then EV kind of got hot, but then virus stuff just wiped it off the map. And then it was just virus stuff all summer. Then EVs came back. Then we had the crypto stuff because Bitcoin in November got back to that 20,000 point range. And then here we are closing out the end of the year. It's still, we still get the EV stuff. I mean, we had a couple of them, Solo is still holding up. Candy's still holding up.
Have you seen that?
What's that?
Blink's had a few green days.
Blink's not far from breaking out. Yep.
So Tim, can I ask you, when did you guys start to notice in the market at like September, October? I thought it was April, let's say February, March, when it became clear to me, let's say in my business, like everything was kind of shutting down or stopping. So I'm just curious, when were you seeing that your September, October, you were seeing a couple
No,
of
I'm
months?
saying last year. I'm saying,
Okay.
I'm saying 2019 was slow.
Okay,
That's what I'm
gotcha.
saying. Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
okay.
And I know we're kind of talking about 2020, 21, and so yeah. So
I was just curious, like, do you feel that you guys saw the impact on the market in January, February, March,
well, February, March. I mean, especially
when it was
March.
exploding in China and Europe?
Well, especially like when, again, I fact check me on the timeline. I mean, I believe it was March because remember I was in LA when the very first stay-at-home order came down.
That's
and,
right. That's right.
And there was rumors of it. This is really early. So like, I had my flights, but I actually rented a car because I didn't know. Because this is timeline wise, we just kept hearing about this stay-at-home order.
Right.
So I rented a car because I'm like, well, I'm not going to be the last guy hoping for a car. So I paid for it, everything, it was ready to go. That night, I go to bed and I get a text, shutdown order hits. I'm flying out the next morning. Because back then, I didn't know. I mean, are they closing the airport? I mean, I got a wife and kids.
Totally.
I'm not going to stay in LA and freaking, especially Beverly Hills. Yeah, anyway. But so a lot of unknown stuff. And even that night, I'm like seeing if I can even get an Uber to the airport because I don't know. Totally. So that was March, and that's when we really. I still remember I was in that Beverly Hills Marriott that next morning. Blue Apron, freaking, I think went from 2 to 15 in a day because meal preps and stuff like that. Totally. So I still remember that day, but yeah, March things is when it changed. Yeah.
Do you remember that, Stephen?
Yeah, no, I remember. It was probably around March in Dubai as well. It was in March in Dubai.
I feel like you were hit earlier than us in the U.S. Like they did shut down much quicker and sooner and full on in Dubai.
It was about March though when some top. I was in a big advertising agency, like 4 floors, 500 people, lots of egos, but it was absolutely brilliant. I miss it a bit, but I remember the big top bosses, their faces couldn't hide it, right? They were running around frantically and you were like, what is going on? And when Corona was in the air, well, like someone's got coronavirus, this place is shutting down. A couple of big agencies had just shut down because they'd had a similar thing. We were like, it's happened to us. Wow. And I'll never forget, Rudy Banholzer, best boss I've ever had by a mile. Absolute, like a dad. It was a bit like Tim Bohen as well. Tim Bohen's like me dad of trading and Rudy's like me dad of advertising. Had some absolute brilliant kind of father figure mentors in my life, which I credit. And he made a speech just being like, someone's got it. It's on our floor and it's on our team. So you need to all just go home right now. So we all went to the first bar that's open and had a beer and talked about it.
and you made out with 3 strange girls that night.
We're like, what's
your name again?
But we didn't know how serious it was. But so that was me. But what was your moment, Kim, that you found it?
Oh, I actually had sent out a huge proposal with a client that I had been working on for a long time. And I think it got out of my inbox at like 7 o'clock. And then it was the night before the market fell, that big drop. I think it was March 10th or whatever. And I woke up that next morning and I was like, I'm totally screwed.
Little did you know. I mean, I think it's helped all of us in different ways, this virus.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, listen, I think it's hard to, I thought it would be bad for the markets. I thought it would, but then you look in hindsight, like so many things. I mean, oh Jesus, if we only had hindsight in trading,
Exactly.
But it's like you look, you think back of all this stuff. People stuck at home, they're bored. They're or not even bored. They're like, okay, am I going back to work? What can I do to make money?
Correct.
And then and again that commission-free trading, and then maybe they get a $1,200 check, and and there is no sports, so I expected it to be bad, I admit, but yeah, it definitely didn't kind of play out as we expected. So
Yeah. No.
What
not at
are you
all.
guys most proud of? Sorry to cut you there. What are you most proud of? Because I did
For the
my
year?
thing, but what's
For
your
the
biggest
year?
accomplishment for the year? Yeah.
Tim, you go first.
you know, it's the biggest thing I'm just really, really proud of is what we've done, you know, with all this stuff. You know, I mean, I think back of, you know, we've done, well, by the end of the year, we'll do 52 podcasts every
Yeah.
single week. We're here, you know.
Yeah.
I've done freaking hundreds of YouTube videos, whether they be pre-recorded YouTube videos. I mean, I've been live every single trading day on 5 social media networks, helping people grow that from, you know, I go back to March. I was excited when there was like 100 people on there.
Yeah.
We're between
Thousands.
Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, I'm pushing 10,000 live every single morning on there.
Amazing.
I mean,
Beautiful.
and you know, and again, the SteadyTrade team, 2 webinars a day, every single day. I haven't missed a day in 5 years, you know, but just keeping that up and helping other people. And, you know, it's like, it's just easy. You know, I'm never late, never sick, you know, always there. But when you love what you do, it's just easy. I mean, if, you know, and Steven and I talk about this, and every trader talks about this. It's like Friday at 4 p.m. is like the worst part, my least favorite time of the week, you know. It's like shit.
Especially when you take a massive loss just before the market closes.
Yeah, especially if you like,
for 2 days.
Well, AYRO, yeah, was or whatever AYRO or whatever APVO, the one that went from like 5 to 60 after hours on a Friday a month ago. But
Yeah.
But I mean, the market's closed. There's no webinars. There's no podcasts, and you know, it's just what am I most proud of? Just doing what I'm doing, man. And yes, I'm an old, gray-haired man, but you can all do it. I mean, you can do it too. I mean, find your passion, and you know, again, Steven did it. You know, I mean, Kim's working on. Well, Kim, I mean, listen, Kim works from home from fucking Hawaii, for Christ's sake. You know, like wish I had Kim's life. I mean, I got snow outside, so I mean, you can do it. I mean, you know, Kim started out, you know, as a executive assistant in New York, you know, 20 years ago or whatever it was.
That's right.
You can do it. You gotta love it though, because it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
It's gonna, and I don't care if you're what it is. It's gonna suck for, you know, getting coffee for this guy that you hate. It's gonna suck losing the first couple of years. It's gonna suck trying to learn trading with the business, with the family. You know, all these things going on.
Yeah.
But stay at it, man. And if you
But-
really love it, you can do it. So.
But like, it only sucks for a couple of years, and then it's
Exactly.
good for like 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah.
Like, it only
think
sucks for a
that's-
couple of years.
It's that instant gratification kind of culture that I think is part of why the kids are discouraged so quickly. The young people that come into this, or even the older people that come into it, like, hopefully if you're old enough, you're wise enough to realize that anything valuable takes time to develop. But to think it's going to be instant overnight success, if you go into anything with that mentality, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed.
Participation trophies.
That probably hasn't helped. Hasn't helped.
When I coached sports, we had no participation trophies, no snacks.
That
No snacks.
sucks.
Those drove me nuts.
Starve them. No water. No
We
snacks.
lost, and you bring donuts to the soccer game? You don't get donuts if you win, much less if you lose. Get these
Get a
donuts out of
donut
here.
in the face. Get a
Get some-
donut in the face.
Exactly. Get some beef
Of
jerky,
being,
get some nuts.
being a worthless piece of shit. Kim, what are you proud of?
You know, I'm proud that
I'm proud I got the mold out of the bottom of the water jug she bought.
you did. Oh, I'm so glad. I still see a little green. I have to be honest, Tim. But
still
all
see
right,
green.
it looks
That's
better.
That's
It looks
Steven's
better.
teeth.
I'm ready to.
I've got the
he is British.
whitest teeth. Yeah, and you are American.
Fair
You're
enough.
not known for having the best teeth. I've got the best teeth out of everyone.
I don't know. I think I have pretty nice teeth. I wore those braces.
I don't know, like mine look like they're shining more.
You probably are.
That's just the light.
I think I'm proud of just, you know, that you guys still have me on the podcast. And that,
Well, if they've still got me, like, it's not hard. It's a low bench.
Yeah, the bar is set pretty low, Kim.
Like I've even missed a couple as well.
You just got to stay above Steven and you're good. And that bar's way down here, man.
and I'm proud too that I, have been able to try to stay in the upward spiral in the midst of all the craziness, and proud that I'm ready to really have more time spent on trading. Like I can really appreciate all the times that you both are always encouraging people when they have a full-time job. Like I've been so busy. So to try to find time, I've been getting up earlier, trying to, spend the weekends studying the material. And it's just hard because, I work all week full on, and then I get to the weekend or the night and it's like, oh, I just want to take a break and read a book or go swim in the ocean. But I have really, been committed the last couple of months of wanting to get better at this so I can start trading. So yeah, I'm just proud that I'm, able to still be here with the two of you guys.
What's the 2020 goal? No, 2021. What's your 2021 goal?
Me? You're asking me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That I don't even know that I need to have consistency or profitability even for the first 3 or 6 months for myself. But if I know what I'm doing and I can go look at the market and on my own without anybody explaining anything to me, that would make me pleased as punch.
It's a good goal. I think for your first year, it's a good goal. Tim?
And to beat you both at the rowing thing.
But
I call it paddling, but whatever.
I can just say my goals because they're pretty quick, and Tim will probably give a longer answer. But
what out of 200 podcasts, what would possibly give you the idea that I would give a long-winded response?
Actually, do you know what it is?
I'm somewhat offended by this.
I actually speak to a lot of people, and a lot of
are these people in your head?
Touche on my right shoulder. Touche, God knows where he is, the little Puerto Rican. But a lot of people say Tim Bohen's hilarious, and I'm like, weird, I don't think so. But they're like Tim Bohen's really funny. He cracks us up all the time. Like a lot of women I speak to say Tim Bohen cracks us up all the time. He's hilarious, and I'm like, that's so weird. I don't ever find him funny. But
because
and I know him, and I still don't find him funny. So
because you're the butt of like 97.8% of my joke, I wouldn't expect you to think I was funny.
I'm like, you really think he's funny? Yeah. But but very quickly, my goals. Look, I want to just pass the 100K mark, because I think when you pass 100K in trading profits, I think that's when you can really take it seriously.
I agree. Yeah.
I think when you've made 100 grand, you're like, look, you can call yourself a trader. I'd say I'm still a trader in the making, trader and build.
Especially
you know what I mean?
And here I'm interrupting. Especially if you do that over a year. See, because to me, that's showing that you can do it. It's hey, you and I know guys that made 100 grand in a month, and all of a sudden, poof. Okay.
Yeah.
If you can do what you did this year, 660, then next year, whatever that number, maybe. I'm guessing you're probably going to do 25, 30 to be over the PDT. But if you can then do that to 100 over a year, in my opinion, I totally agree. It proves now you've shown I can do this. It's I didn't just get lucky.
It's like, look, I stayed in the game a year. Can I stay in the game too? Like that's what I'm thinking about. So I think 100 grand makes you more of a defined trader, not a trader in progress or a trader in build. My second goal, so there's three. So my second goal is to, once I've proven that I am an actual proper profitable trader, it's to be on the Tim Sykes stage again. And that's not for just drinking cans doing a podcast. That's on my own merits of success to then fully pass it on. So that would be a dream in the making, to be on stage explaining how I've done it after the 100K mark is passed. That might be premature. Tim might be like, no. Tim Sykes might be no, 500, 600, but we'll see. And the last one is just to smash Tim Bohen on, like just smash it. Smash it. And most of the energy will go into the last goal.
All right, Tim, yours. What's your for 21?
I would. You should probably find a god if you want to accomplish that and start praying.
I've already got one. It's the divine.
Him and or her. So, I tell you what, it was really, really satisfying to get that ebook out finally. I mean, it's only 50 pages, but people freaking loved it. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments. And that I only put it out. I put it out for free for 24 hours. Hundreds of comments, maybe 1,000 plus. So I really want to get to that. My big goal is do something like that quarterly. Yes, I'm very busy.
Nice.
Way too busy. I've got about 1 million projects going, but I'd like to put some sort of work out like that quarterly. I'm trying to have a realistic goal. Listen, again, I'm between SteadyTrade and this and Instagram, I'm going to put out about 4.5 hours of video today. But if I could knock out some sort of work like that once a quarter on top of everything, I'm never do less. I will never do less. I will always do more on top of everything else that I'm doing. That would make me happy. So
you'll do less rowing, but in the same time as me. But
do you actually think you're going to beat me?
Honestly, I
think, I know we're talking shit and everything, but do you actually think you would? I mean, how divorced from reality are you?
I don't think it's a question of how divorced from reality.
Is your mom there?
In my
how
mind.
many times did she drop you on your head as a kid?
I genuinely think I'll beat you. Yeah.
At a physical competition with 10 months of training. Look into my eyes, motherfucker.
Look into my eyes.
I think
I will take, speaking of Goggins, I will take your soul.
I mean, it's like the Mike Tyson fight when he fought the other day against, was it Larry Holmes?
I'm 87 Mike Tyson, Holmes. That's who I am.
Like you're 48. Tyson was like 50s, and he was not a shadow of what he used to be. So I presume that you're not a shadow of what you used to be. And the young man will prevail. Like fighting's a young man's game, and rowing's a young man's game, and you're not a young man anymore. And when you start to accept that, and you see what everyone else sees.
This is just going to get ugly, isn't it, boys?
But when you see what other people see, then you'll realize that it's like Shutter Island. Everyone else is delusional, but you're the delusional one.
I mean, I realize
it's like Shutter Island.
In Britain, you all live in like little hobbit huts underneath rocks and stuff. Do you have psychiatrists in Britain?
No, I haven't seen one yet, but
you should
not
seriously consider some sort of psychological help.
I think, honestly,
I don't know if you ever came back from that trip to Thailand.
I wish I didn't leave.
I think you're like Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now. When you were in Vietnam, you were wishing you were home, and when you were home, you were wishing you were back in Nam, and you left your soul in Vietnam. You and Marlon Brando.
I haven't been to Vietnam.
Jungle, and you didn't come back.
I haven't been to Vietnam, so I don't know what you're talking about. But Kim, as the bipartisan spectator,
yes.
If I'm in peak fitness condition, we're talking like, when you see the boxers and the UFC fighters and stuff like that, not as good as that, but like somewhere.
I'm visualizing Butterbean myself.
I know you are. Like, but like, see, when you see the lightweights and featherweights. Yes, you don't want to know. It's just some big fat bald boxer. But Kim, seriously, if I'm in decent physical shape, pretty good physical shape with 10 months of training, Tim Bohen's dedicated his life, right? Give him that. He's been in peak fitness for years. He's done all the Navy SEAL stuff.
Don't put false valor on or fake valor on me.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing anything marketing with messaging.
If you don't drink booze for 10 months and come in like stripped down
to perfect shape.
He won't drink the night before Or the day,
Yeah, I don't even know if I can say that.
The day
I would drink the
of.
day of. Nah, but seriously, if
Yeah.
I'm in good physical shape, and Tim's been doing it his life, who would win?
I am not an idiot, and I am not going to put that answer out there, but I think it's going to be close if you really get yourself in perfect condition.
Yeah.
And you take it seriously. I do think it might be close because I know you run.
Yeah.
You run regularly.
Run
I don't think
circles around Tim Bohen daily.
Tim, you don't run. Do you? Are you a runner?
No, not really. Too
No,
bad.
right?
It doesn't
Too bad
matter
I'm
though.
old
It
man
doesn't matter.
knees. Yeah. So.
Well,
Old
I think
damn
at the end of the day, though, rowing or running, those two are cardio. Yeah. So I think it's going to come down to cardio.
And just to answer your question, it's just my knees are jacked up. So.
Yep. So I think it's
much, it's kind of like a one-legged man in an ass kicking contest. My knees just aren't what they used to be. So
totally. I think I'm going to wait to give my prediction about who's going to win when I see you both at the about to do the competition. That
Basically,
moment when I'll decide.
Tim doesn't want to say it, but if I'm in peak physical shape and I've been nonstop at it, she thinks I'll win. But if I fail due to instant gratifications and addictions and poor health habits, you will win. That's ultimately what Kim's saying without saying it.
I don't think that's what I'm saying, but
that's what I did.
Yeah, it's like
you got a bad scouting. You got a bad scouting report, in my opinion.
You just said it to me, yes, without saying it.
Actually, the funny thing is, I'm probably going to hire a coach. Actually, so
yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I might get two.
Yeah,
dietitian, coach.
No, I just was like an indoor rowing coach. I might hire one, an online one. So
good idea.
It'd be kind of
good
fun.
idea.
Because that's one of the biggest things I like with a lot of this stuff is, again, I'm in the middle of nowhere. It's like there's nobody to compete. Well, especially now, you can't compete with anybody because everything's closed anyway. So
I think it's going to be close, Stephen. I really think it could be close because you run all the time. I just want to see that you're not dehydrated if you're going to start working out a lot. And that's my concern. It's the dehydration that alcohol causes. I think it's all about fluids and being completely hydrated to be able to go, like a distance. That's all. Like, see, as he drinks his big water bottle, that was such a great time. It's perfect timing. Totally. We got your number, Bowen. We got your number.
So what's let's double back to some more market related stuff. So what do you think? What's some predictions? Just kind of anything. I mean, I'm sure you guys know what I'm going to say, but where do you think? I mean, what do you think the market's going to keep doing? I mean, is it going to crash? Woo! Or what do you guys think? So.
Now I don't think it's going to crash. I thought that 3 to 6 months ago after talking to VWAP trader JJ. I'm pretty sure now it's not going to crash because the powers that be won't let it. And I think big pharma is going to. I think that's going to I think there's going to be a lot going on there with regards to the coronavirus. And also, I heard recently that there's this mysterious illness in India that they don't understand what that is. So, I feel like maybe there's just going to be a lot around pharma. And I still feel like vehicles are going to be.
Yep. Geez, yeah, we just got a number today, like record high inventories of oil. Yeah, I mean, it's just, wow. I mean, once you're just, I think, whether it be Elon or whoever it is, I think about, the wife has that, she's due for a new vehicle. Her vehicle's a year old, so she's due for a new vehicle in a year.
Yeah. 1 year old?
Yeah. And
you? What happened to
when you lease a car, if she's leasing a car, that's just automatic.
But she'll, but I just wonder, my prediction is that'll be the last, ICE, internal combustion engine vehicle I buy, that one, 2021, when she gets the new, car, 4Runner or Land Cruiser. I mean, I think that'll probably be the last internal combustion engine vehicle I buy. So.
Wow. Amazing. What other sectors do you think are going to?
You know, gaming I think is going to be huge. You know, that's something I've talked about. I think sports. I think professional sports. They lost me years ago. I just think there's so many more interesting things out there, and and I know this will probably piss off a lot of bros out there. But I think a lot of people just watch sports because there just wasn't other options. You know, it's like, you'd watch the ball game because, well, the ball game. I mean, I remember growing up, 3 channels, ABC, CBS, and NBC.
That's right.
You know, and I think there's just so many more options now. And now it's just so much more interactive. And you know, I'm not a gamer myself and I don't pick on it. But if you can like compete and have all this action and stuff, I just think that is, and we've had an entire generation that grew up gaming now, and you've now got, they're 30, 40 years old, their peak earning years, and they're, and they're gamers. And I think that whether that be watching gaming, which I know, again, a lot of people are like, oh, people watch people play games. They fill they used to fill stadiums. They filled stadiums. And I think that is one of the biggest things that's going to be a big trend if you're looking longer term ideas. So EVs, gaming are a couple of the big ones. And so crypto, I think crypto, the cat's out of the bag finally. So buy Bitcoin.
Yeah. How about you, Stephen?
Yeah, I just think more craziness, more of the same. I can't see how this can stop now that it's started. Once you get the big heavy ball rolling, it keeps going, doesn't it? Yeah. So I think it's more of the same.
I mean, I think, I think, and remember, I'm Mr. Pollyanna, Mr. Positivity. I think you need something like really bad. Now, I hope we don't get that, ever, hundreds of years, but I think to slow down the markets, it's just, it's the new normal. I mean, Steve, you see, it's like, again, we talk about this all the time. You see some stock trading 2 million shares in pre-market and you're like, 9 months ago, we'd be like, oh, it's trading 2 million, and it's
honestly, I'll, if a stock trades like less than 1.3, 1.4 in the opening minute, I'm thinking, this might fail. This might be an okay show, but I need to watch it for a bit longer. But that's what they used to trade in a day, right? So
I mean,
outrageous.
I could get out those old trading journals, and it's like, I'd be looking at stocks. I'd be like, well, it almost traded 1 million, so keep it on watch, for the day. Wow, you're talking the opening 1 minute candle.
But there's just so much opportunity though, because what you've got to realize is when the stock makes a move with 80 million or 100 million or 200 million, there's lots of the pattern that you can still play that used to get a liquid, but now you can play the other moves in the pattern. So not only are the 20 stocks gapping every day, 20 potential new plays every day, there's hundreds of other plays that have set up from the previous days as well that are now liquid enough to play. So there's just billions and billions of opportunities every day. And it's just about you wanting it bad enough to take them, which is crazy. Mm-hmm. There's never been such opportunity. And that's why it's good to educate people for free, right? But look, the UK markets are set to boom. The American markets are set to boom. I think it's just going to be ton of booming, ton of new traders as usual. I don't think we can do more than this year, but I don't think it'll slow.
I mean,
Bitcoin and weeds.
Yeah,
Bitcoin and weed.
I don't know if you guys weed.
No, you're not. You're not thumbs up on weed.
Well, let me make one. See, I don't know if you guys have watched. Again, I'm Mr. Elon Musk fanboy. That Starlink stuff he's doing. I mean, he might have. Yeah, next year might have internet everywhere. Wow. Even Kim. The whole reason Kim had to lease an office because she couldn't get internet up on her evil lair on top of the volcano in Hawaii with all their sharks with lasers on their heads. But I mean, think about that. Think about the billions of people that don't have, hey, again, we're blessed to have this computer and these internet connections. And now, I mean, think about all that volume coming to the markets. So that is one thing. Yeah, and I don't know with weed. It just
Yeah, how come? How come? I'm surprised at that. I thought you would have been totally thinking weed would explode.
that I just
The decriminalization of it that's going to happen now potentially with the government.
well, the biggest thing I look at is again that cheating girlfriend analogy. You know, there's just so many bag holders in these weed stocks. We got 6 years of bag holders.
Doesn't matter, man. This market, 500 million day, they're all gone.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I can't argue with you. I just feel like it's I don't know. It just
look.
I felt like my biggest point is
Bitcoin. How did that come back?
If weed was going to happen, it was going to happen now. You know.
But what about Bitcoin? 20,000 to what did it go back to? 2 or something? 2,000? That's a mountain to climb that it climbed.
Fair enough, but remember, Bitcoin itself is very low flow. Okay, you know, there's not that many.
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
You know,
you're
talking the difference. You're talking the difference between 500 weed stocks with millions of bag holders, and you know, and Bitcoin is very low float at the end of the day. You know,
very true. Very true.
I just feel there's so much emphasis on the decriminalization, not just of weed, but you know, there's been so much more conversations about hallucinogenics and them and the importance of them in being used for treatment. And so I
believe in the hallucinogenics more than I do the weed. I just
okay. I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah.
We're at the point where weed is like soybeans.
Yeah,
you know? It's just a commodity. You know.
Yeah.
And when you're talking this now, keep in mind, I'm not talking. You might buy some weed stock in January and sell it in December for 30% and be happy.
Right.
I'm saying from the perspective of what we want to trade.
Yes.
You know, we want 30% in 5 minutes. So I think weed is now soybeans. It's just a commodity. Now your psychedelics point, I think we could see a 1,000% runner in psychedelics. Yeah.
What would psychedelics be considered pharmaceutical, or how would that be? What sector would that be under?
It'd probably be its own in opinion, but I don't know the regulation of that. See, that's going to be the biggest thing because I mean, listen, we all know the whole reason weed still isn't legal is because of the pharmaceutical companies.
Yes, I agree.
If they could just sell you weed, you know, it would have been legal 40 years ago. You know?
Definitely true. Definitely true. No doubt about it. That's what I just feel everywhere I turn. Somebody's talking about psychedelics. Somebody's advocating it. You know, I just finished a book called The Hungry Ghost, Gabor Mate, who talks about the benefit to people who have addictions.
He's that guy that looks like he's 5,000 years old, right?
He looks a little bit on the less movie star handsome, but
I'm not saying it's just the dude looks like he does 5,000 years old.
He does look a little bit old, but when you look at what he has
I think he went to high school with Moses.
What he's lived through and like his time on the rough side of Vancouver streets is an incredible story. And he talks at length about how he feels, you know, that the addiction, it's just so much of the brain. And a lot of this, children are born with this kind of brain set. And then if we can start to like use hallucinogenics in a powerful,
they already are though. They already are.
Stephen, real quick before you make your point, it's 2:30 p.m. The market is in the absolute shitter, and Chris is back at VWAP.
Yeah, I was short that. I took it off.
Oh, did you?
I was short it, and I was like, I'm up 16%, I'm up 18%, and I'm like, I'm up 14%, I'm up 12%,
we might have an interesting hour and a half here. So
yeah, no, I literally took Chris off for like an 8% gain, and you feel so stupid. Like patience is either a best friend or a worst enemy, right? Sure. And I'm like, it's a biotech. It's. I was like, is this one of Tim's VWAP feeds? And it actually faded. I've never seen that. By the way, that pattern I've almost never seen. I've never seen a whole VWAP and breakdown. Never. They always stuff and then slam these days. With whoever's involved.
Yep. So.
But I was just saying about psychedelics. I know ketamin's used to treat like depression and anxiety. I remember
they also use that cats.
cats, really.
Yeah.
They also use it on elephants.
Ketamine's a
and
cat
horses.
tranquilizer.
Horses. No,
Why
it's
don't
a
you
horse
people know?
tranquilizer.
You don't know about
Horse-
how
horse
old
tranquilizer, man.
Gabor Matai is or cat tranquilizers. Where'd you go to school?
Horses.
Went down high school east.
Did you go to Bilbo Baggins underneath that little grassy
we
knoll?
don't talk about
Yeah,
drugs in
in
school
the
other
Shire?
than don't take them. I need to watch that again. Like, I miss it, actually.
That's your neighborhood, right? Don't you all live in dirt mounds? Eat
Thatch covered roofs.
potatoes?
They have thatch covered roofs.
There you go. Hairy toes.
All right, so you say psychedelics too. So we're all a thumbs up for psychedelics. We don't know what that sector will be called,
Right.
but that's
and
where,
and again,
Hopefully.
whether or not the pharmaceutical companies let it happen.
exactly. They probably will try
Keep
to not
advocating.
let it happen. Yeah, for sure. All right, so do we have any parting words, or have we done our predictions? We've just did our predictions, right?
Yeah.
For
Dow
2021.
Dow 40,000. Tesla.
Wow.
Where we're at? Where do we? Yeah, we're
Different
Tesla.
market one is.
Tesla 5,000. So
Wow.
I'll have a Cybertruck the day it gets released.
I really hope you do
Pop
have a
wheelies with
Cybertruck.
that thing.
Please just have a good looking one, huh? Don't have one of those ugly.
I'm getting the
ones.
Tesla Cybertruck, man.
Ugh,
If he ever
so
ships it.
ugly. Just can't he have some pizzazz? He seems to have pizzazz. Let the truck have a little pizzazz. The cars have pizzazz.
Yep,
Come on. All right. So should we close it up, gentlemen? Do we have anything else to add?
Parting words. Just parting words to leave people with. Guys.
Okay. You go first.
Okay.
I was trying to translate what you said, you know.
Brother.
If I was going to summarize this year and give advice for next year, I would say what comes to mind immediately is the vast majority of the time that you're studying, what happened with me was I would think at the end of studying, I'd think, what did I just learn? And I couldn't remember anything that I just learned. So
Wow.
don't be discouraged by the learning process and trust that something's going in there and trust that over time, months and years, it will transform into something beneficial. So don't doubt it. Don't think you're not good enough. Don't think I can't remember it. I haven't learned it. It's too hard. It's going in there. And I just want people to remember that.
Good advice. Good advice.
I think one of the biggest points that, you know, and I do talk about this a lot, but keep in mind that mind-body connection. I think so many people overlook that.
Strong.
I mean, listen, if you can just, I'm not saying you got to do all this stupid meathead shit and throw around rocks like I do, but I mean, if you can just run 20 minutes on a treadmill, man, just do something physical before you do that studying, before the trading day. I mean, and it drives me nuts. Like, there's so many days where I'm just like, why am I in a bad mood? You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, why am I kind of ornery? Why am I kind of down? It's like, oh,
Right.
I didn't. So then I get on the rower, I lift some weights, and it's like, oh, you know, like, it's just so easy, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, if you're struggling with your trading, which you're going to, I mean, just don't discount that fact of just moving, getting physical, you know, try and eat right, you know, and just, and I think that is such a, I feel like nobody talks about that, especially in like trading, you know. I mean, listen, and there's only so much room for information, but, you know, we, on this podcast, we talk patterns, we talk filings, we talk, you know, float, we talk, you know, all this stuff, but don't discount that value of taking care of yourself, the energy, because you need, I mean, you're just losing and nothing works and you're frustrated. That 20-minute run, that 20-minute bike can make a huge difference, in my opinion. So
can I just say, just stack them as well. Like, I've been well known for having ups and downs. Stack good things together. So like, do like 30-40 minutes in the gym, and then like stack it with like a breathing exercise or a meditation, and then stack that with a cold shower. Like, if you stack these good things together, 1, 2, or 3 of them are going to work, and before you know it, you're on a bit of a natural high on your own supply. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Really a big advocate of stacking good things together.
100%.
Yep.
100%. Yep.
Great.
I mean,
Great
it's just
advice.
like, good habits. And then, it's like you do that stuff every day. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, geez, all of a sudden I was profitable.
Feel good.
And,
Yeah.
And,
I feel good. I'm profitable.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
Yeah.
And the reason, one of the biggest reasons I made that point is, this is going to air around New Year's resolution time. So I know everyone's going to be like, oh, healthy body, healthy mind. I'm quitting smoking. I'm quitting boozing. I'm quitting meth. I'm quitting sleeping under the dumpster behind the pub every night.
My New Year's resolutions to stop now.
Yeah. But
No, it's not. That's a terrible thing.
Let's keep it up, okay? And set realistic goals, and that's my point. Don't try and quit the smoking, the meth, and the booze all the same day. Maybe just start with meth. Okay,
Drop
let's
one.
start there.
Just drop it. Exactly.
and put in, and just have realistic expectations. Again, if it's just 20 minutes walking, jogging, okay? You walk, you jog, while you're listening to the SteadyTrade podcast, or you're watching a YouTube video, and just get something done. And man, I think you'd be blown away, especially if, you're still doing it in September, October, November,
Exactly. All right. So here's my advice is I want people I'm going to take a lead from Bram, our guest just from the last episode, about get support, especially if the lockdowns are still going on. You need emotional support. So find a tribe of people, create a tribe of people, get people who have your back.
Never been an easier time to do that. Never been easier.
Correct. Correct. You can go into the Stocks to Trade chat room and find somebody who's at your level. You can connect to Stephen on his, video podcast. Like you got to find people on his grinder. You got to find.
I literally just downloaded that. How did you know?
Find the people who are going to love you, support you, encourage you, because we cannot do it alone. That's what Bram said, and I'm 100% with him. And we have each other, like the three of us coming together. That's part of what encourages me to do the studying and to have courage to go into this. If I didn't have you guys both there, kind of like holding me accountable, it could easily fall to the wayside. So
I thought about not rowing yesterday, and then I thought about Stephen crying in a puddle of his own sweat and vomit, and I'm like, easy, man, easy.
No, but it's true though. Like I sometimes wonder, would I have made trading if I didn't have the YouTube and all the people watching us? And because everyone said you're not going to make it because you've got too much pressure on us, and I was like, nah, that pressure is a fuel that is driving me to my goal. There's no pressure. I don't care if I lose in front of people. But that's just me. That's just me. I do, but I know
we're trying to end this, but again, what you did, man, don't discount that. You were doing videos 3 years ago, sucking, man, and you still showed up
week after week.
But you still showed up. You still made that video of of pain. But that's why you're here. That's why you're here.
Exactly.
There's a million people that started that and never and didn't keep doing it.
For sure.
But and I know we're all trying to end it, but like the reason that we work this hard is because if I don't, I'll be miserable in life. So is everyone else miserable, or is everyone else just happy and I've got a mental problem, and maybe Tim's got a mental problem, or like Kim's a bit sad and she doesn't feel happy unless she drives to success? Like, have we got mental problems and we need to strive to be better? And or does everyone just feel unhappy but they don't have the passion, or what?
I'll let Kim wrap up. I think yesterday or the day before, someone asked me when I was going to retire, and I'm like, what?
Never.
Wow.
What kind of stupid fucking question is that? Why? What do you do? What do you do? I'm like, no, I'm not going to retire. And so anyway, go ahead, Kim, take us out. So.
All right. So I think it's because the three of us are getting our needs met in this work. And, if you're not getting your needs met here, or in whatever it is you put your time and focus on, you're going to be miserable. But, you know, you spoke today, Tim, about getting your need for contribution being met, right? By being able to give back. Stephen's talked about as well, contribution, but also just that adventure of, you know, being able to do something that's really hard to do. I'm getting my need met by being able to be a contribution. And I'm also getting my need met, I think, as well, for independence and freedom. Like, I really value that. And I know that being an entrepreneur has allowed me to get my need for freedom met, but trading could potentially facilitate that even bigger and you know, broader. So I think it's because we're getting our needs met here, Stephen, and that's why we stay here. And I don't know that everybody else outside of, you know, the choices they make, they just probably don't know the difference between their wants versus needs.
There you go. Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
All right, everyone. Well, would like to thank you for listening to the Steady Trade podcast. As always, drop us a review on iTunes. Drop us a comment over on YouTube. And any of the stupid links to bad movie quotes that I mentioned will be linked over at SteadyTrade.com. Any of the useful resources that Kim dropped will also be linked. And then Steven's, you know, pub crawl schedule will also be linked as well. So head over to SteadyTrade.com, drop us a comment, drop us a like, and hopefully you enjoy this. And as always, I badger you this every time. Give us constructive feedback, or any sort of feedback. We love doing this, but we want to do, listen, today's episode, we just kind of powwowed and we said, hey, let's have a conversation about 2021. So if there's topics, if there's concepts, if there's books, if there's anything you want us to go over, we love it. We're here for you guys. Drop us that comment, and we'll see you next time on the Steady Trade Podcast.